Next on the news.
My heart goes out to that family. I am sorry that they lost their loved one.
As the New York City mayor apologizes, police release new surveillance pictures to catch the gunman in a deadly subway shooting. Also, 78,000 pounds of baby formula flown in from abroad, but there are concerns it will do little to ease the nationwide shortage. And
I just had to keep him calm, point him to the runway, and just tell him how to reduce the power so he could descend to land.
An air traffic controller helps a passenger safely land a plane after the pilot becomes incapacitated. And the miracles didn't stop there. Plus, how a woman celebrated her 100th birthday with a thrill ride and some wind in her hair. I'm Christine Persichetti. Courage News starts right now. Police are trying to catch the person who pulled the trigger in a deadly subway shooting. A 48-year-old man was killed on a Q train that was bound for Manhattan, and now the victim's family is calling on Mayor Eric Adams to do his job and rid the streets of crime. This is the gunman police say killed a man riding the Q train Sunday morning. Cops say 48-year-old Daniel Enriquez was shot in the chest for no apparent reason while the northbound train was traveling on the Manhattan Bridge.
According to witnesses, the suspect was walking back and forth in the same train car and without provocation pulled out a gun and fired it at the victim at close range.
Now Daniel's family is speaking out, telling the New York Post that Mayor Eric Adams needs to know the city isn't safe and he needs to do his job. The mayor responded.
I know that pain. That pain is real, and I've witnessed that pain throughout my career. It is my responsibility to keep New Yorkers safe. My heart goes out to that family. I am sorry that they lost their loved one.
Adams says he wants to bring technology into the subway system that would identify guns and says he's trying to negotiate with the Port Authority to allow scanners at the bus terminal to stop the flow of guns into the city.
There's a small number of people who are violent in the city. The fact is that we are not putting them through the court system. We're not making sure they don't return back to our streets, so they're able to do violence over and over again.
Daniel's family alluded to the state's bail reform laws in that interview, saying even if cops catch the shooter, he's going to be out again. This is the fourth subway homicide of the year, and it comes on the heels of the Sunset Park subway shooting, where 10 people were randomly shot during the morning commute, but no one was killed. The mayor says he will make sure the subway and the city as a whole is safe.
I thank God I'm the mayor right now and not those that don't understand the urgency of this moment.
After speaking out about the shooting, the mayor took the subway to listen to riders' concerns and reassure them that he will increase safety. And while Mayor Adams swiped his Metro card again today, many apparently aren't. The MTA says it's lost $119 million due to fare beaters. New data just out says the agency lost $62 million in subway fares and $57 million on bus fares. Subway workers have been asked to help out with fare enforcement and have been given instructions on how to counter turnstile jumpers. Bus workers have also been asked to play a role in fare collection. Mayor Adams declared a state of emergency on Sunday, allowing the city to crack down on the price gouging of baby formula. The executive order will stay in place for 30 days. New Yorkers who are overcharged for formula are encouraged to file a complaint with the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. The announcement comes as nearly half of retailers in the tri-state area say they are out of baby formula. But help is on the way. The first batch of baby formula imported from abroad arrived over the weekend. The 78,000-pound shipment is enough to fill over 500,000 baby bottles. It's the first of several flights in President Biden's Operation Fly formula, and already a second shipment is scheduled to arrive from Germany on Wednesday. President Biden says China is flirting with danger right now by flexing its military might at Taiwan. During a stop in Tokyo during his trip to Asia, the president said the U.S. would respond militarily if Beijing tries to take Taiwan by force. Chris Wynn has the latest.
Fresh tensions between the United States and China after President Joe Biden is vowing the U.S. military will defend Taiwan if China were to invade.
You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are.
That's the commitment we made.
At a joint press conference in Tokyo with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, President Biden repeating similar comments that his staff has tried to walk back in the past.
We support the one China policy. We support all that we've done in the past. But that does not mean that China has the ability, the jurisdiction to go in and use force to take over Taiwan.
China hitting back, warning President Biden to be careful with his words. The White House says there's been no change in official U.S. policy, reiterating the United States' commitment under the Taiwan Relations Act to provide Taiwan with the military means to defend itself.
Well, I do think that's a premature comment off the cuff, and everybody listens to the commander-in-chief. However, I think deterrence is important here.
The president's remarks coming before formally unveiling a 13-member Indo-Pacific economic bloc intended to counter China's dominance in the region.
We're committed for the long haul, ready to champion our vision for a positive future for the region, together with friends and partners.
Chris Wynn, Currents News.
Pope Francis has prayed for peace in the Ukraine numerous times, but on Sunday, the pontiff turned his intentions to Christians in China.
Vi invito a unirvi in questa preghiera affinché la Chiesa in Cina, in libertà e tranquillità, possa vivere in comunione effettiva con la Chiesa universale.
During his brief remarks, the Holy Father also said he is attentively and actively following the often complex life and situations of the faithful and pastors there. The Holy Father did not mention the arrest of Cardinal Joseph Zen. The former Archbishop of Hong Kong was jailed under China's national security law on May 11th. Cardinal Zen was released on bail that same day and is reportedly expected in court on Tuesday. The Pope also thanked those who participated in an Italian pro-life event this weekend. The national Let's Choose Life March welcomed more than 100 organizations and families Saturday. It promoted human life and protested abortion and euthanasia. According to the organization that runs the march, in just 2021 alone, 73 million children were aborted and thousands of Italian elderly were denied palliative care. This as pro-abortion Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has been officially banned from receiving communion in the Archdiocese of San Francisco. Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone sending this letter to Pelosi and the other faithful of the California Archdiocese, saying she is not to be admitted to Holy Communion in accordance with Canon 915 of the Code of Canon Law. The Archbishop highlights the multiple times where he tried to speak to Pelosi about her stance on abortion, and after receiving no response, writes, "This resistance to pastoral counsel has gone on for too long, and there is nothing more that can be done at this point to help the Speaker understand the seriousness of the evil her advocacy for abortion is perpetrating and the scandal she is causing." Archbishop Cordileone goes on to say he is not weaponizing the Eucharist, but simply applying church teaching. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the law Archbishop Cordileone is citing is located in the 4th book of the Code of Canon Law, which is the section on sacraments, not the penal section. In it, it says Catholics obstinately persevering in manifest grave sin are not to be admitted to Holy Communion. Archbishop Cordileone says this decision came after years of prayer, fasting, and consultation with church leaders. The shepherd of the Archdiocese of San Francisco spoke more about that on America Media's The Gloria Purvis podcast.
I really would prefer not to do this, but I cannot in my conscience allow the situation to continue and cause this scandal. And people are getting confused, people are getting upset, and it's also fueling these flames of polarization and dissension. Some people might accuse me of doing that as well, but I just know in my conscience I have to do something to teach clearly about this evil and that there are solutions to this dilemma that we're in.
Archbishop Cordileone did speak well of Speaker Pelosi, saying he believes she is sincere when she speaks on how devout she is with her faith. He also said he's ready and willing to speak to her whenever, wherever, and however she wishes. While the Pope has not directly commented on Pelosi's ban, he was asked about the issue of bishops denying pro-abortion politicians communion during a flight back from Slovakia in September of 2021.
È un problema pastorale, come noi vescovi gestiamo pastoralmente questo principio. E cosa deve fare il pastore? Essere pastore e non andare condannando, non condannando, sì, essere pastore. Ma è anche pastore dell'escomunicato? Sì, è pastore.
The Holy Father also said he has never refused the Eucharist to anyone. An online prayer service for the victims of the Buffalo supermarket rampage is set for Tuesday night. It will pay tribute to the 10 people killed in the mass shooting at the Tops supermarket more than a week ago. It's being hosted by the Knights of Peter Claver and the Ladies Auxiliary Subcommittee on Racism. Just a reminder, you must pre-register for the event. It's Tuesday, May 24th at 8:30 p.m. The Zoom link is kofpc.org/Buffalo. A Catholic college in Buffalo is honoring the brave security guard who died trying to stop the mass shooting at the supermarket. On Sunday, Aaron Salter Jr.'s son accepted his father's degree in communications from Canisius College. As Natalie Fahmy reports, the Jesuit college hopes the posthumous degree will offer some healing to his family.
That's huge for him. That's huge for the family. Thank you, Canisius. Thank you.
Canisius College is adding a graduate to their roster. Aaron Salter Jr. was just 3 credits short, or 1 course, from finishing his degree in communications.
His career in the police department and his unbelievable bravery last Saturday, that more than made up for the little 3 credits that he was short on his Canisius College degree.
Aaron attended Canisius College from the fall of 1984 to 1988. He returned to school in the spring and summer of 2007, rounding out all but that 1 class he needed to graduate. Aaron's work and family put those final credits on hold. His cousin, Previn Brock Sanders, says education was important to Aaron.
Aaron Jr. had actually went back. He had started at Canisius and then he became an officer, and then as part of the continuing education, he felt it was important to go back.
I think it'll be a source of healing and consolation for the family, and if it provides even just a little bit, we want to be there to do that for them.
That was Natalie Fahmy reporting. Aaron Salter Jr. was also granted posthumous admission to the Honor Society in Sunday's ceremony. Marking 100 years of serving the community, the parishioners at St. Ephraim Catholic Church in Diker Heights finally renamed the corner of Bay Ridge Parkway and Fort Hamilton Parkway St. Ephraim's Way. The dedication happened right after the 10 a.m. Mass on Sunday and marked the church's 100th anniversary celebration. Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan offered a special blessing to kids at St. John's University Saturday. Varsity teams from several Catholic high schools competed for the Brooklyn Queens Diocesan Championship title. And while the mighty Xaverian Clippers beat out Monsignor McClancy High School for the title, both teams will move on to the Catholic High School Athletic Association's intersectional playoffs. How fun. There's a lot more news headed your way. No flight experience necessary. The miraculous air traffic controller who helped one man take control of a dangerous situation. And a heroic rescue caught on camera how 2 officers jumped into action to save a 9-year-old boy. Plus, it's a story of faith and perseverance. The miracle child who finally gets to go home after spending nearly 7 months in the NICU.
Before I knew it, he's like, I'm on the ground. How do I turn this thing off?
A double miracle in Florida. An air traffic controller helps a passenger land a plane, and the incapacitated pilot makes an amazing recovery. That passenger had no flight experience, and just like that, he had to become a pilot. He teamed up with an expert air traffic controller to get the Cessna down safely. Tara Jakeway reports.
Meet Robert Morgan, a Jupiter resident, dad of 3, and now a certified hero.
I just feel like it was probably meant to happen.
It was around 12:30 Tuesday when Robert, an air traffic controller at PBIA, was outside the tower reading a book on a break.
There's a passenger flying a plane that's not a pilot and the pilot's incapacitated. So they said we need to try to help them land the plane.
He was the man for the job. In addition to his 20 years in tower control, he is also a flight instructor with around 1,200 hours under his belt.
I knew the plane's flying like any other plane. I just had to keep him calm, point him to the runway, and just tell him how to reduce the power so he could descend to land.
He had never flown the specific model, a Cessna Grand Caravan, so he used this picture of the cockpit to understand the specifics the novice was working with.
I said, all right, we're going to get you to a runway. What do you see now? And he was just passing the shoreline near Boca.
This is an actual video of the flight path of the plane after he took over at 5,000 feet.
Before I knew it, he's like, I'm on the ground. How do I turn this thing off?
Together, Morgan and the passenger had pulled off the impossible. They met on the tarmac and hugged it out.
It felt really good to help somebody, and he told me that he was going to go home tonight to see his pregnant wife.
Wow, that was Tara Jakeway reporting. And the other miracle in this story, the pilot who became incapacitated made an amazing recovery from a rare heart condition. His doctors say he had a tear in his aorta.
It happened suddenly. So the moment he was describing to his friends on the plane that, hey guys, I don't feel well, I have the worst headache of my life, I'm feeling fuzzy, dizzy, that is the exact event that the tear occurred in his aorta. So to be able to survive that acute event was really quite remarkable.
The pilot was transferred to Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center for complex cardiac care and surgery. Doctors say about 50% of patients who have this diagnosis won't even make it to the hospital. But the 64-year-old pilot was released from the hospital on Monday. Also in Florida, 2 sheriff's deputies saved a child's life by pulling him through the window of a burning home. Footage from their body cameras show the 2 officers running towards the massive fire, breaking a window and using their flashlights to guide the 9-year-old boy to safety. The boy's parents say if the deputies hadn't stepped in to help, their son would be dead.
I'm still in a little bit of shock, so I'm going to try to get my message across clearly. I just first want to really thank the heroic efforts of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for stepping in and doing what they did, because had they not done what they did, we would be having a very different conversation right now.
The boy is still in the hospital with second-degree burns and is on a ventilator right now due to smoke inhalation. A premature baby born at less than 2 pounds has defied the odds. After more than 6 months at a Boston hospital, his parents are taking him home for the first time. Julie McDonald has the heartwarming story.
You just think about getting through the next day, the next day, the next day.
202 next days. That's how long Shayna Alexander and her family have watched their incredible Abel fight to stay alive. He came October 28th at just 22 weeks.
I woke up on intubated. I didn't know if the baby made it. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl.
Abel was only 1 pound, 8 ounces. His survival seemed bleak.
They wanted to do comfort care twice the first 3 weeks he was born, and my kids were able to come in and see him the second week to say bye.
But for nearly 7 months of loving care by his teams at Beth Israel and Children's, Abel kept amazing. He never gave up.
You sit in a room for a long time watching other families. Like, I've watched multiple, like over 50 babies leave during my stay. We've had over 19 roommates. And one day you're just like, you pray to God, I hope that's going to be me one day.
Instead of dwelling on that revolving door of discharges and asking why me, the mother of this miracle held her husband's hand in faith and trusted that God had their boy in his.
It's brought me so much closer to God, and just my eyes are open. I'm very thankful for so much more things. God can do miracles, and I know some people might think it's like insane, but it's really true.
So sweet. That was Julie McDonald reporting. Abel went home to his overjoyed parents and 3 siblings this past Sunday. Still to come on Currents News, it's well known to Wizard of Oz fans. Next, how Dorothy's legendary dress is now at the center of a legal fight. And the woman who decided to celebrate her 100th birthday with an adrenaline-fueled joyride. Do you have a story idea or want to share a tip? Email us at newstips@desalesmedia.org or call our 24-hour number, 718-517-3122. We'll be right back. From beloved film to courtroom drama, a judge has ordered Catholic University to temporarily halt the auction of Dorothy's iconic dress from The Wizard of Oz. The decision came Monday when the family of Father Gilbert Hartke, the priest who received the dress in the 70s, challenged Catholic University's ownership of the dress in court. They say it was given as a personal gift to Father Hartke, but the university claims it was presented to the late father in his official capacity as the school's drama director. The judge's decision comes just a day before the school intended to auction off the dress. The final bid is expected to pull in more than $1 million. Well, she may be 80 years old, but she finally got her college degree. This is the moment that has been 6 decades in the making for Madeline Adams. She enrolled at the University of Nebraska at Omaha in the 1960s, but dropped out to raise a family. After 3 children and career changes that took her from Missouri, Hawaii, and Texas, her college academic journey ended at the same institution she began at, the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Congrats to her. And finally, you can never be too old to enjoy a ride in a little red Corvette. Just ask Audrey Matheson, an Arizona woman who only had one thing in mind for her 100th birthday. Cameron Palome has more on the thrill ride of the century.
Pictures of the past hang in honor of a Valley woman who's seen quite a bit.
Well, I never thought I'd live this long. I'm amazed myself.
Most are amazed when they meet Audrey Matheson, who's celebrating her 100th birthday.
They wanted me to celebrate to the hilt. So I guess that's what we're doing.
Surrounded by friends and family, Audrey is in for more than she bargained for. Born in 1922, married for more than 50 years, and while she's lived a long time, she's the first to admit she still doesn't have all the answers.
If I was good at advice, I would have taken it myself.
Were you a troublemaker?
Oh, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense when you hear what she told her caregiver, the one thing she's always wanted to do.
I asked her if there was anything she wanted to do before she died, and she told me to ride in a red Corvette convertible.
We'll get back to that as Audrey was in for quite a few firsts.
This is the cake.
Kicking off with a surprise visit from a baby wallaby thanks to a Valley Wildlife Rescue. Then a quick hello from a few local heroes. Her friends saving the biggest surprise, however, for last. The East Valley Corvettes Club hearing about Audrey's wish, and Navy man Jim Dunkelberger was happy to oblige.
Want to go for a ride?
The look on her face says it all. Jim delivering a thrill ride to remember.
She wanted to go fast.
She's a wonderful little lady. We just love her. Just proud of her. You know, she's a maverick. She's a maverick.
Thanks to the kindness of her community, her 100th birthday may just be the best one yet.
I'm a bit shaken up. This has been quite a day.
That was Cameron Palome reporting. We wish Audrey a very happy birthday. Looks like she's having fun. And that is Currents News. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.